Mountains of Fire. Jason pulled the deep green leather book from its hiding place beneath his pillow. The brass clasp was warm to the touch, as if the book had been waiting for him. "Evelyn, come look," he whispered to his younger sister. "The living world has a new chapter." Evelyn scrambled over, her dark hair tumbling into her eyes. Jason opened the book to a page showing a mountain with fire pouring from its top. The illustration began to glow, the flames flickered, and the bedroom dissolved into a landscape of black rock and billowing steam. They stood on a ridge overlooking an enormous crater. Far below, molten rock glowed bright orange, bubbling and popping like a giant pot of lava soup. The air smelled faintly of sulfur, like a struck match. "Welcome to a volcano," Jason said. "Let me show you what's happening underneath. Deep beneath the surface." The book pulled them downward, through layers of solid rock, until they floated in a vast underground chamber filled with blazing orange liquid. "This is the magma chamber," Jason explained. Deep inside the earth, temperatures reach over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt rock into a thick, glowing liquid called magma. This chamber can be miles wide and sits anywhere from 1 to 10 miles below the surface. Evelyn watched bubbles of gas rising through the magma. "Why does it come up? Why doesn't it just stay down there?" "Great question. Magma is lighter than the solid rock around it, so it rises like a hot air balloon rising through cooler air. As it pushes upward through cracks called conduits, pressure builds and builds. Dissolved gases, mostly water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide, expand as the magma gets closer to the surface. Eventually, the pressure gets so enormous that the whole thing blows." "Like shaking a soda bottle?" Evelyn asked. "Exactly like that. The gas has nowhere to go, so it explodes out the top." 3 kinds of volcanoes. The book flipped pages, and 3 volcanoes appeared side by side. "Not all volcanoes are the same," Jason said. "The first type is a shield volcano. See how wide and flat it is? Its lava flows out gently, spreading in thin sheets over huge distances. Mauna Loa in Hawaii is a shield volcano. It's the largest volcano on Earth by volume. From the ocean floor to its summit, it's over 30,000 feet tall, taller than Mount Everest." He pointed to the tall, steep, classic cone shape. "This is a stratovolcano, also called a composite volcano. It's built from alternating layers of lava and ash, which is why it's so steep and tall. Mount Fuji in Japan, Mount Rainier in Washington, and Mount Vesuvius in Italy are all stratovolcanoes. These are the most dangerous kind because their lava is thick and sticky, trapping gas until the pressure creates massive, explosive eruptions." Evelyn pointed at the smallest one. "What about that little guy?" "That's a cinder cone. It's the simplest type, built from blobs of lava that shoot into the air, cool into cinders, and pile up around the vent. They're usually small, maybe 1,000 feet tall, and they often form on the sides of bigger volcanoes. Paracutin, Mexico is a famous one. It grew out of a farmer's cornfield in 1943 and reached 1,100 feet in just 1 year. The Ring of Fire. The book zoomed out to show the whole Earth. A glowing ring of dots traced the edges of the Pacific Ocean, running from New Zealand up through Indonesia, Japan, and Alaska, then down the west coasts of North and South America. "This is the Ring of Fire," Jason said. "It's a horseshoe-shaped belt about 25,000 miles long where most of Earth's earthquakes and volcanic eruptions happen. About 75% of the world's active volcanoes are here, roughly 450 of them." "Why are they all in a ring?" Evelyn asked. "Because the Earth's surface is broken into huge pieces called tectonic plates, like a cracked eggshell. These plates float on the hot, soft rock below and slowly drift, just a few inches per year. Where 2 plates collide or pull apart, magma can push through the gaps. The Ring of Fire is where the Pacific Plate meets many other plates." Famous eruptions. The most famous eruption in history might be Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, Jason continued. It buried the Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum under 20 feet of volcanic ash in just hours. The ash preserved everything: buildings, bread still in ovens, even people frozen in their final moments. When archaeologists dug them up centuries later, they could see exactly how the Romans lived. Evelyn shivered. That's sad but also amazing. In 1883, Krakatoa in Indonesia exploded with the force of 13,000 atomic bombs. The sound was so loud it was heard nearly 3,000 miles away in Australia, the loudest sound ever recorded in human history. It created ocean waves over 100 feet tall and lowered global temperatures for an entire year. And in 1980, Mount St. Helens in Washington state erupted sideways, blowing an entire side off the mountain. It knocked down 230 square miles of forest, like flattening millions of matchsticks. But within a few years, plants and animals started coming back. Today, the area is alive again. Why volcanoes matter? Volcanoes sound scary, Evelyn said quietly. Are they all bad? Not at all, Jason smiled. Volcanoes built many of the islands we love: Hawaii, Iceland, the Galapagos. Volcanic soil is incredibly fertile because it's packed with minerals, which is why some of the world's best farmland surrounds old volcanoes. Volcanoes also released the gases that formed Earth's early atmosphere billions of years ago. Without them, we might not have air to breathe or water to drink. So volcanoes helped create the world? They're still creating it. Right now, underwater volcanoes along the mid-ocean ridges are building new ocean floor. The Earth is always changing, always rebuilding itself from the inside out. The book's pages fluttered, and the volcano dissolved into warm lamplight. Jason closed the brass clasp gently. The mountains of fire aren't just destroyers, he said. They're builders too. Evelyn looked out the window at the quiet, steady hills on the horizon. Do you think there's magma under us right now? About 1,800 miles down, Jason whispered. Good night, Evelyn. Good night, mountains of fire.